5 most mysterious disappearances of all time. Every year, all around the world, people go missing, and the authorities put a lot of work in getting them back. And they come back with different stories of how they were kidnapped or lost their way. But some, we never get to see them again. Just like that, they disappear into the thin air. In this video, and with a sort of heavy heart because of the recent ones, I will tell you about the 5 most mysterious disappearances of all time. Number 5. The Malaysian Airline Flight 370. Regarded as the most expensive and tragic aviation mystery of all time, the disappearance of the Malaysian Airline Flight 370, Boeing 777-200ER, on March 8, 2014, will forever linger in the hearts of the family members of the passengers and crew. It was a scheduled international passenger flight from Kuala Lumpur International Airport to Beijing Capital International Airport. The crew's last communication with the air traffic control was 38 minutes after takeoff. At that time, it was above the southern China Sea. Minutes later, it disappeared from the control screens and was seen heading westwards, crossing the Malay Peninsula and Andaman Sea by the military radar used to track it for another 1 hour. Then, it suddenly vanished, without its crew placing a distress call or showing any technical problems. And this marked the beginning of the endless search for a plane with 12 crew and 227 passengers on board. A search and rescue program was launched and started in Southeast Asia. It involved multiple countries and was on for 3 years before being called off after no success. However, a lot of conspiracy theories have been put forward as to the whereabouts or what happened to this plane. Number 4. The Mary Celeste and her crew. The Mary Celeste was an American ship that was discovered adrift and deserted in the Atlantic Ocean off the Azores Island on December 4, 1872. It was found by the Canadian ship Dei Gracia in a bad condition but still seaworthy. The last data in her log entry was entered 10 days earlier, and her lifeboat was missing. Her cargo contained denatured alcohol, which she was taking to Genoa from New York. The ship left New York on 7th of November, but never made it to Genoa. What happened to the ship? Nobody knows till this date. The ship had 100 people on board: the captain, his wife and daughter, and 7 other crew members. The baffling thing is that the belongings of the captain and crew were intact when found, but the people on board, captain's navigation gear and ship documents were never found. The ship was salvaged and put back in service. It was still used for years until 1885, when her captain intentionally wrecked her off the coast of Haiti in order to commit insurance fraud. What happened to the captain, his family, and the 7 other people on board is still a mystery. Number 3. Jimmy Hoffa. A Union leader and ex-convict, Jimmy Hoffa, on July 30, 1975, disappeared, marking the beginning of one of the FBI's longest-running organized crime cases in Detroit. He started out early in life as a union organizer, and by 1957, he became president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters until 1971. Being involved in organized crime, he was constantly on the radar of the feds and was eventually caught in 1964. He was charged to court for tampering and several other crimes. At the end of the trial, he was sentenced to 13 years in prison in 1967. Jimmy was granted pardon by U.S. President Richard Nixon in 1971, with an agreement not to participate in unionism till 1980, an agreement he tried to break but was unsuccessful. Fast forward to July 30th, 1975. He went into a restaurant in Detroit to have a meeting with members of the Teamsters. He was never seen again. He was declared presumably dead in 1982, so his children could inherit his properties. However, the FBI maintains that Jim Hoffa's case is still very open.
The FBI and our partners are here this morning to execute a search warrant based on information that we have involving the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa.
Number 2. Amelia Earhart. An American pilot, an author, and a record setter, Amelia Earhart, fondly known as Lady Lindy, mysteriously disappeared in 1937 while attempting to fly around the world from the equator. She was the first female to fly across the Atlantic Ocean solo in 1928. Amelia wrote best-selling books about her flying experiences and was pivotal in the establishment of the 99s, an organization for female pilots. In 1937, she and a fellow navigator, Fred Noonan, decided to embark on what would be the first around-the-world flight. They left from a very remote island in the Pacific, the Howland Island. They completed about 2/3 of this legendary trip as they eventually ran out of fuel. On July 2, 1937, they vanished somewhere above the Pacific Ocean. A search and rescue was on for 2 weeks, but they were never found. In 1939, she was declared dead by court order. This was allegedly done so that her husband could remarry. Number 1. Lauren Spierer. According to Time magazine, the disappearance of Lauren Spierer is the most mysterious of all time. It's like reading one of Agatha Christie's crime novels, but with no apprehension of the criminal at the end. On that fateful day, June 3, 2011, Lauren Spierer was having a night out with her friends at Bloomington Bar, Indiana. Her boyfriend was not there according to reports, but they were texting. As at 2:30 a.m., surveillance footage shows the 20-year-old Indiana University student leave the bar with one Corey Rossman. According to eyewitness, they appeared drunk. On reaching her apartment with Rossman, she was said to leave again almost immediately. They walked through an alley to Rossman's apartment a bit before 3:00 a.m. When they got there, Michael Beth, Rossman's roommate, ushered Rossman in. She didn't stay with them and told them she was headed home. Instead of going home, she ended up in Jay Rosenbaum's apartment, Beth's neighbor. At 4:30 a.m., she left Rosenbaum's apartment, according to him, and was headed for the College Avenue. That was the last time anyone saw her since 8 years ago. Her disappearance was a major blow that hit many college campuses in America. It garnered a lot of attention from celebrities all over America and other parts of the world. It's been 8 years, and investigators are still yet to unravel the mystery behind her disappearance. To everyone out there looking for a missing loved one, I pray you find him or her alive and well. Please support us by subscribing to this channel, and do turn on your notifications to get notified when we post new videos.